welcome into another edition of the Coach Shinnick Show. I'm Will Kennedy. This is head coach Pete Shinnick from the University of West Florida, and we are on the road. We seem to be on the road every time we open one of these things. This time, Tigerville, South Carolina. The place may change. The results stay the same. Congratulations. 52-10 is the final score in this one. You guys get a win, 5-0 on the season now, and another successful road trip.
Yeah, I'm really happy for our guys. You know, we challenged them to come out, play a complete game, get started early, and then not go away. And to have the lead at halftime and then to continue to add to it was great. But love how we got started. Started with our kickoff coverage team. We call that the hit squad. The hit squad got after it, and then our defense, forced them off the field. Offense was able to get on the field. Love what we were able to do. Obviously, the interception for the touchdown was huge. I mean, we had a lot of things that set us up. Shamari Mason, right? I mean, he only has to go 7 yards for that first touchdown. That's great field position from the defense. So a lot of fun stuff taking place in the first 15 minutes of this game.
I want to take you to a casino somewhere because the coin flip thing is happening. And you're winning every time. And you mentioned it. You did defer, and this time the defense does not give up the drive.
Correct.
We get the Shea Campbell interception. You punch in that first touchdown. Then they get going offensively. They tie the game up. And then from there, it really was a dominant performance. Yeah. I thought, both sides of the ball, but especially defensively.
Yeah, I could not be prouder of our defense really taking the number one rusher in the conference and, minimizing his success. We pray he's okay, that, he had to leave the game, but, just minimizing what he was doing on the field I thought was huge for our defense. And then, to come out and just continue to answer the call offensively, we find numerous ways. I think at one point in time we did get a penalty. We did get a play call back, but I think we had scored 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns in 2 plays or 4 touchdowns in 3. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then our guys, just kept moving the ball, kept finding ways.
Rodney Coates gets a couple touchdown catches in the first half, and Austin's really got a nice connection going with him, and you're able to get a short one to Durden as well in the game. And really you start to pull away. There was a weird kind of period there at the end of the first half where the ball just kind of went back and forth and no points were scored. So you took a lead to the locker room that I'm sure felt pretty comfortable. And by the way, your punter, Steve Dawson, backed up against the end line, on the goal line, we were able to get off a couple of good kicks. But, going into the locker room, I'm sure you felt like you could have been up more.
Yeah, I did, and we got the ball at the -1, and we did that last year twice. We went 99 yards 2 times, so we're going to be aggressive and we're going to find a way to do it. And really, I felt like we just missed to keep the drive alive there on 3rd down. But then here comes Steve and our punt protection team, and they did a great job of really getting that thing off and putting them back and not giving them easy field position. So really proud of kind of how the whole team played and how everything came together.
It was a nice lead at the half, 28-10 going into the locker room. We'll talk about the second half and another fantastic job of defense putting up another shutout and making things happen in the second half. More coming your way from here in Tigerville, South Carolina next on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
I
Hello, I'm Zach Pullman. I'm a graduate assistant here at the University of West Florida, and I work in athletic communications. When I found out that I received the Bright Future Scholarship, I knew this would take a burden off of my family and kind of help me through college. Given the opportunity to pay for my complete undergraduate degree, I did not have to worry about student debt, so I was able to continue my journey of education. Just want to thank the Florida Lottery for not only helping me through my college journey, but countless others in the state of Florida and all they do to help education within the state.
Look at that. That's called a takes two hands burger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese, hand-chopped veggies, and everything else you could possibly ask for. Yep, that's your Whataburger, made exactly the way you want it. Because sometimes, you gotta take matters into your own hands. What a burger, just like you like it.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. So the Argos up 18 points at the half. And, Coach, you bring it out in the second half, and as you love to do, we're getting the football to start things off and march down the field. And I know it's probably a little disappointing. You got down inside the red zone and came up with a field goal. But, again, nice job by Griffin Sarah of knocking it through.
Yeah, and, we want to get points right out of the gate, anytime we get the ball, obviously. And so to start the first half, start the second half, that's one of the things that we're always trying to do. So really thought that was a great drive. And, again, thought we missed on a couple of balls there where I think we're pretty close. Griff comes in, kicks the field goal. That's good to see. He's 2 for 2 on the year. Excited about that. And then, then some fun happened.
Yeah, 30-yarder makes it 31-10. And then Anthony Johnson Jr., I can't say enough about this young man, a true freshman, and we've seen his ball hawking skills. This time he gets one, and every DB wants to be a running back after they catch it. He gets a convoy up the sideline, takes one back to the house, 40 yards plus, and we haven't had one of those in a while.
No, fantastic job when the pick six. I mean, really, and that was probably 8 defensive guys giving him blocks and letting him run the alley that he's supposed to run. Tremendous athletic play. I thought he had an interception earlier in the game that they gave back to their wide receiver. So for him to get this one and get the pick six, fired up about that. And then, we just kept playing. And our defense continued to keep him out of the end zone, and offense found a way to score again.
Shea Campbell, he couldn't get it in, so the DB's got to show up the linebacker. That's how it always goes. And, yeah, I thought the defense come up with some fourth down stops and forcing, North Greenville off the field, which is something that's been a struggle a little bit. Karan Ashley gets the next touchdown. It's nice to see him get involved in the flow again. And then we talked about the short 7-yard touchdown run that Shamari had in the first half. He gets loose, and I feel like, do you feel the same way? We've just been waiting for this to happen, that he was going to break one. One guy had a shot at him, and when he couldn't bring him down, it was over.
Yeah, and that's the fun part about Shamari Mason. I mean, when he gets in the open field, it's pretty electric. We had a screen to him that we got a holding call, but that was about a 16, 18-yard gain that was very electric as well. Fun for him to do that. He's got another gear. He's got some shiftiness, some movement to him. That run kind of combined all of that because he had to make a couple people miss, then he had to run away from people. Happy for him.
He told us on the radio pregame show, I said, who do you look up to? He said, Barry Sanders, LT. That looked every bit of some of those different guys. And so you guys end up pulling away and 52-10, and the defense really, once again gets out there and puts that kind of performance up. Your offense is right there with the numbers, and Austin's near 300 passing. Shamari, by the way, goes for 109 or 108 on 10 carries. And so really hitting in all facets. Is this kind of what the performance you needed with West Georgia coming in and kind of moving through the GSC?
Yeah, and I think part of the GSC is somebody's coming up. You know what I mean? And so if you don't get better, and that was my challenge at halftime, we got to get better. We got to get better. We got to improve. And so we know what type of team West Georgia is. If memory serves right, we've never beaten them at home. So I mean, there's some things that we've got to accomplish against them. They're playing very well. And if we didn't get better in the second half, I'd feel like we're behind. But this gives us the momentum that we need going into that game. We finally get to be at home in Blue Wahoo Stadium. Excited about that. Don't know that there's any other team in the country, and I'll have Brian check this, but any other team in the country that's 5-0 and been on the road 4 times.
No,
so
not at this point.
I'd like to see if that's anywhere in America right now, because our guys have answered the call, but we're fired up to be at home next week.
You mentioned 5-0, 52-10, the final score here. Coming up later here in the program, Coach will come back. We'll start breaking down that matchup with West Georgia, which, by the way, homecoming. How about 2 top 10 teams in the country from the GSC, and we'll get that going. Coming up next here on the program, Maya Clark dives into some of the other fall sports. By the way, volleyball's pretty good.
Volleyball's doing very well.
Only lost one there as well, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about soccer and cross country, and we'll have Coach Shinnick back a little bit later here on the Coach Shinnick Show.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/about us.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back. It's time for another Argo Sports recap. Football traveled to North Greenville and defeated the Crusaders 52-10. Will Breland was named GSC Freshman of the Week after having a team-high 7 tackles. Women's soccer traveled to Auburn Montgomery on Friday and defeated the Warhawks 3-1. Freshman Lauren Magazzoni scored her first 2 goals of the season. On Sunday, women's soccer continued their Alabama road trip against Montevallo and defeated the Falcons 3-2. Blair Cohen was named GSC Offensive Player of the Week after scoring 2 goals and having 2 assists on the weekend. Peyton Pfeffer scored her first goal of the season. Here's Coach Bart and Peyton Pfeffer's.
Conference games are totally different. Everyone gives their A game and plays their hardest, and we just step up. We play our game. We have the talent. We have the team. I'm just so proud of everyone. They've stepped up, and they know how much these games mean. We play for each other. This is our team, and it's our game. It's our win, and it's our loss. So everyone just works for the girl next to them and picks each other up at every ball. Every ball is ours, and we just work as a team to build each other up.
Yeah, very difficult, but our players stepped up. I mean, it was what I liked was our positivity and our energy and our grind. When they go on the road and you play these matches, so difficult. So we've learned, I think, and this group is going to continue to work hard. No games are going to be given to us in the conference, so we have to go out and earn them. Montevallo was fantastic today. They pressed, they worked hard, they're well coached. So it was a really difficult challenge for us to go on the road and win. But all credit to our gals for fighting so hard and pulling out the result that they needed to get. Difficult situation that we have found ourselves in with all the weather, but we're not having a pity party. We had to come here and pull out a result against a tremendous team, and the character that our players are showing now has been fantastic.
Men's soccer also traveled to Alabama this past weekend and defeated Auburn Montgomery. On Sunday, men's soccer lost to Montevallo 1-0. This weekend, both men and women's soccer will be back here at the UWF Soccer Complex for their 2 homecoming games and senior night. On Friday, they'll face Lee University at 5 and 7:30, and on Sunday, they'll face Shorter at 12:30 and 3. Last Tuesday, volleyball traveled to Alabama Huntsville and defeated the Chargers 3-1. On Sunday, the team traveled back to Alabama and defeated the Montevallo Falcons 3-0. Taylor Van Eckeren was named GSC Offensive Player of the Week. Tuesday night, volleyball hosted Alabama Huntsville right here at the UWF Fieldhouse and defeated the Chargers. Here's Coach Walter with more.
Yeah, UAH prepared very well. They had a great game plan. I knew they would. We just didn't know what it was going to be. And they showcased their discipline and their blocking tonight. And I'm glad that we were fortunate enough to come up with the win. It's great to have a depth in our bench like we do. So when we made the decision to have Kiera Potts go all the way around, I thought she was just a great answer to us maybe struggling a little bit offensively in that second set. And tonight, ironically enough, you look at the numbers, it was not a great night for Varicia. And we've become so dependent on her that I'm really proud of our players for holding down the fort from an offensive standpoint when, one of our top players, she still hit almost 400. So I say that loosely. But all in all, I think they did a nice job of slowing us down in what worked up there. And we were good enough tonight to be able to spread the ball around and get some other people involved. So it's nice to be balanced.
This week, volleyball will be back on the road at Lee and Shorter. Men and women's cross country traveled to the UAH Invitational. Zach Benton finished with the 5th fastest 8K time in UWF history. Next weekend, both men and women's cross country will travel to the Gulf South Conference Cross Country Championship. This Friday, swimming and diving will have their home opener against Tulane University at 6 p.m. in the UWF Aquatic Center. We have a busy week here for UWF Athletics. Be sure to check GoArgos.com or download the Argo Armada app. Up next, we'll talk to men's soccer Keegan Anselin.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
Look at that. That's called a takes two hands burger. Fresh 100% beef stacked high with melted cheese, hand-chopped veggies, and everything else you could possibly ask for. Yep, that's your Whataburger, made exactly the way you want it. Because sometimes, you gotta take matters into your own hands. What a burger, just like you like it.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
We're here with Keegan Anselin from men's soccer. Keegan, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, how did you get into playing soccer?
I mean, just when I was younger, I loved all the sports, and I was playing all of them, and I had my heart set to soccer, and I just kept going after that.
So, did you play soccer in high school and travel soccer?
I only played 1 year high school, but the other years were travel soccer.
And then, what made you choose UWF?
My coach was an alumni from here, and he played here, and he recommended me here, and he told Coach Bill about me, and I really loved the school, and I decided to come here.
So you kind of had your senior year in the midst of COVID and everything happening. So what kind of were your thoughts during that process of were you going to be able to go and play soccer? Or were you going to be able to visit those schools before you actually got here?
Well, that part was a little bit difficult for me because I wanted to go to a couple other places, and this is before I even knew about UWF. So it was a little bit hard, and I kind of found out about UWF a little bit late. It was a little difficult for COVID,
So early on, you've had a lot of success this season. So what is your mindset kind of going into every game to keep pushing yourself to do well?
I just got to stay focused and humble, just got to go through every game and act like it's 0-0, even if we're up or if we're down, But we got to stay focused throughout the season, and we got to keep getting wins,
So what has been the biggest challenge that you have faced throughout your entire career?
I would say switching positions, because I never used to play a forward position. I always used to play a defense position, and I think that was one of my biggest challenges because it took me years to develop the skills to be able to do what I do now.
So when did you switch positions?
It was probably like 2 years ago, maybe. So I've only been playing for a couple years in this position, and it's been a little bit hard at first. It was a little difficult for me, but I got through it, and I'm here where I am today.
What's your greatest memory playing soccer?
Probably when I was, I would say like 10 or 11, and I hit a shot from like half field and it went in upper 90. I just thought that was one of the best moments that I've had. It was nice.
And what advice would you give to the younger version of yourself? So knowing what you know now, going through the recruiting process, starting college, and just playing soccer, what advice would you give to the younger Keegan?
I would tell him to fix his attitude because he used to have a bad attitude about everything. I was always negative towards things, and I would tell him to keep his head up and be more positive towards things.
So how did you kind of shift your attitude to becoming more positive? Like what was that kind of decision that kind of finally made you change your attitude?
Well, I realized back in club, and even my coach told me this. He told me that my attitude, like say if I would lose the ball, my attitude was really poor, and it always affected the game. And I started to realize that, and I started to continue to change that. So even if I did something bad, I get right back into the next play and focus on and continue.
So what are you most looking forward to this season, and as your career continues, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm most looking forward to getting wins for our team, scoring, hopefully winning a championship. That's the number one goal right now.
Thank you so much, Keegan. We'll be back in just a minute to wrap up the Coach Shinnick Show.
Hello, I'm Zach Pullman. I'm a graduate assistant here at the University of West Florida, and I work in athletic communications. When I found out that I received the Bright Future Scholarship, I knew this would take a burden off of my family and kind of help me through college. Given the opportunity to pay for my complete undergraduate degree, I did not have to worry about student debt, so I was able to continue my journey of education. Just want to thank the Florida Lottery for not only helping me through my college journey, but countless others in the state of Florida and all they do to help education within the state.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back into the Coach Shinnick Show. It's time to break down the next opponent. And, Coach, good to be back home after being on the road. We said earlier in the program, it's 4 out of 5 of the first 5 games all away from the friendly confines. And what does it mean to the team to be back at Blue Wahoo Stadium and play there for the first time this season?
Yeah, really excited to get back. What it means is just a comfort level. I mean, that's a place that we've obviously called home, since we've been here. We didn't get the opportunity to play there in our first home game, had the unique experience, great experience here. So to be back, very comforting. Looking forward to getting back into that routine for the next couple of weeks.
It doesn't get easy when you get home. It's nice to be home, but West Georgia comes in. This is a team 5-1, ranked in the top 10, coming off a victory after they had lost a couple weeks ago. But it's a good Wolves team that comes in. What have you seen from them, and how are they different from maybe 2019?
Well, they're an explosive offensive team, and probably the most explosive that we've seen in a while from a West Georgia team. And I think they're top 5 in the country in scoring offense and getting it done. They've got a quarterback that is new to their system, but playing extremely well. And then defensively, they're stingy, not really giving up much. I think if you look at their victories, I mean, they're all kind of lopsided. The one loss was a very close game against West Alabama until the fourth quarter. So we expect nothing but a great game from these guys, and a team that we've never beaten at home. So you throw that in there, and we've got our work cut out for us.
That is the odd note. In this series, everybody wins away from home, and it was 2019 up there in the pouring rain. You guys got a big victory, so they'll be looking to return the favor a little bit. And, Coach, you mentioned it, 39 points a game for them. They're only allowing 15. They're putting up 500 total yards of offense, and that quarterback, Harrison Frost, he's been really good, almost 2,000 yards passing already. What is it about his game?
And they're throwing it a lot. I think they're throwing it 40-plus times a game. They're really putting the offense in his hands, trying to spread it out. They've got some playmakers at wide receiver. So he's been really good in the decision-making process. He's found the open guys. They run a pretty good RPO game that really keeps you off balance. You got to know where it's going to go. And he's been fantastic in the short stuff, but his completion percentage across the board has been very, very good. So complete player, running the offense extremely well. He's the leading passer in the conference right now, throwing for more yards than anybody. So again, we've got to be dialed in, and we got to be focused.
He's played one more game, though, so we're biased a little bit there. Defensively for the Wolves, kind of looking through their stats, I mean, they've got a bunch of guys with double-digit tackles. Mm-hmm. Nobody really jumps out. What is it that they do on that side of the ball effectively?
Yeah, very similar to some of the people that we've faced. You're going to see multiple fronts. You're going to see they're basing out of a 3-man front, but they'll play a 4-man front. They'll get into that scheme. They're going to rotate the coverages around, try to get some mismatches in the back end. What they do well is trying to disguise what they're trying to do, as well as bring pressure from all different places. So our O-line has been up to the challenge, really excited about how they're playing. It's going to take another great week of focus on their part to stay dialed in and know where all the pressure is coming from, identify the linebackers, identify the safeties, so we know who's involved in the rush.
Homecoming, isn't it supposed to be we schedule somebody that you can just go out there and roll around and go back with a nice, easy victory? Who did that?
Yeah, well, I'm not in control of the GSC schedule or our homecoming, so I'll leave that at that. You can interview somebody else on that one.
This is going to be really a dynamic weekend, though. The game with West Georgia, obviously, for homecoming. Then we've got West Allen, Valdosta going. We're going to find out a lot about the conference this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, top 4 teams really going at it this weekend, so we get a pretty good idea where everybody is. And I think by Saturday night, you'll know who 1 and 2 are through the process of playing this thing out this weekend.
All 4 teams that we've talked about there in the top 25, and 3 of them in the top 10 in the most recent rankings. So looking forward to it. 4 o'clock kickoff. We'll be on the radio at 3:30, ESPN Pensacola, our broadcast partner. And then, of course, this week we got the game on CST and YourView, also Flow Sports, our streaming provider and partner through the Gulf South Conference. So kickoff at 4 o'clock. I think the tailgating starts, pretty early. It should be exciting. Lots of people. I know everybody's been dying to see this team play at Blue Wahoo Stadium. Good luck to you guys, Coach.
Thank you.
And, of course, we'll have the breakdown of this game, and we'll continue to roll through the fall sports for you on the next edition of the program. Don't forget, GoArgos.com is always the place to get your schedules, your results, the latest news and info from UWF Athletics, and the Argo Armada app right there on your phone. You can keep track of everything as well. We appreciate you watching, and we will see you next time on the Coach Shinnick Show.